Hey guys, how you doing today? How's your family? Hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying healthy. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Biden's campaign promises and how far he's come, whether he's been able to achieve any or if it's just been a giant smokescreen and the way to take advantage of people's weaknesses to win an election. Let's go into the video. So we all know that while Biden was campaigning to be president, he was touting a lot of promises, saying he was going to do this, he was going to do that. He was going against some of Trump's policies. He was saying he was going to bring about new policies. He was saying he was establish and push further some of Obama's policies. He was going to push of Trump's policies. So he said over 100 things in different campaigns across the country. But I'm going to go over the ones I think are major and important. Of course, you can go over an exhaustive list by Googling Biden's campaign promises on Google. You can get more information about it that way. But today I'm just going to be talking about the ones that I want to draw your attention to. So stay tuned. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is he said he was going to get COVID-19 under control. I wouldn't say he has failed and I wouldn't say he has succeeded because there are a lot of factors in play that have, because obviously COVID has reduced across the world. It's not just in the US, and we can't really tell if the vaccines helped, but what we can tell is that they obviously used the vaccine to their advantage. They leverage on the vaccines to be able to steal, because if you look at most of the contracts, most of the health organizations, the even big pharma really benefited from the vaccines. And whenever big pharma benefits and they are not called to answer, to be accountable for their actions, there's usually a major Democrat behind them, raking in large sums of money. And whenever you see government doing any project like the COVID-19 vaccination, just know that there are huge politicians, huge Democrats that are lining up their pockets with government funds. So I wouldn't really credit Biden or the Biden administration for COVID reducing, because it was going to do that, which made that way. Some people wonder, was COVID even real? Was COVID orchestrated? COVID, so many things. So I'm not going to be talking about it, but I wouldn't credit the Biden administration, for bringing COVID numbers down. I wouldn't go that far. Now, the second thing Biden talked about is he said he was going to get bipartisan cooperation on the economy. We know that Republicans are better at business and economics, related stuff, because if you look at Trump's administration, it was obvious that the country obviously fared better than it does now, because as a rule, Republican politicians are not politicians. Many of them have businesses and many of them have enterprises, actually very, very successful. Like when you look at Trump, he was a very, very successful mega business before he ran for president. And then when you look at Biden, Hillary Clinton, when you look at Nancy Pelosi and a host of others, these people are just politicians who make money from government contracts, who make money from the country, who make money from their salary, taxpayer, which is often not consistent with their net worth. So they achieve such high net worth apart from stealing from the government. Biden was quoted to quote Biden, he said, "Look, folks, we're going to bring the Republicans and Democrats together and deliver economic relief for working families and schools and businesses. I promise you." So Biden really made the promise that he was going to go ahead and do that. Obviously, he hasn't. He has further pushed away, Republicans, but that doesn't stop us from coming back, in the next election and taking over the country and painting the whole country where, come the next. So Biden also said he was going to, and I quote, use National Commission to address policing issues. Here are his words: "I promise you, there will be a National Commission on policing out of the White House where I'll bring everyone to the table, including police chiefs, including civil activists, including the NACP, including the African, the Latino community. We're going to sit down and we're going to work it out." Obviously, this never happened. It's still not happened, and it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. It seems like one of those politicians say when they need your vote and to get you on board, to get these organizations board, to get these groups, these societies on board with, the election. And obviously they succeeded. And today, none of these things, none of these promises have been implemented. The police have not been as a matter of fact, the salaries of the policemen has not been increased. No notable and significant improvement happened when it comes to policemen, retired policemen, and even when it comes to equipment and weapons. Nothing. So I think it's safe to say that this was an obvious lie, and that it doesn't look like he's going to be serious about it in the coming year. So, but we'll see what happens. Now, he also said, and this was a big part of his campaign, he was going to, and I quote, put US on a course to net zero emissions by 2050. Let me read what he said. He said, I will make massive urgent investments at home, put the United States on track to have a clean energy economy with net zero emissions by 2050. Now, this is a very, very hypocritical promise, because his mentor, Barack Obama, actually made the bulk of his money while being president from oil. And obviously, his son, his family benefits a lot from these oil, from the petroleum industry. So then why will he's built his presidential campaign around making the United States a green economy? The reason I see is because green economy was popular at the time, and it's still popular today, and that gave room for them to sign huge amounts of money, short contract that says, okay, we want to make country greener, but it's actually it's actually just a front for them to steal huge amounts of money in and put into companies that doesn't exist. That they, by the way, when you look at Burma, when you look at what Obama has done, when you look at what Nancy Pelosi has done, been using these tactics for a very, very long time. It's not surprising that they used it, because the younger generation obviously has green energy and they rush towards it because they think it's better. Look at the results. The only good thing out of it is that electric cars became popular. Elon Musk became very rich and successful. But then the companies United States used to be the largest manufacturer in the world, even though they had to get the oil from elsewhere. Lots of the oil from elsewhere. They were manufacturing huge amounts of fuel to the finished products, and then they were exporting. And now that is no longer there. So as a result, the price of fuel in the US skyrocketed. A lot of companies moved out of the US. There were a lot of factories were forced to close down. That was bad for the economy in all areas. This is one of those situations where one can say it's going to get worse before it gets better. Is it going to get better? It doesn't look like it's going to get better. So I think saying he was going to make the economy greener is actually a front for stealing huge sums of money, which they've succeeded in, and the country is so greener than it was. The country still consumes oil. The factories still consume oil. And then when you talk about the electrical, the electric vehicle industry, it's still the processes used in manufacturing these electric cars still consume as much, still harm the environment as much or even more than the petrol cars. The processes already used in manufacturing these electric cars still consume as much, still harm the environment as much or even more than the petrol cars. The petrol cars are already streamlined, and they are already optimized to create the least damage to the environment, but these electric cars are not. And the chemicals in these electric cars have increased, and these chemicals, by the way, they are not found in the US. They have to brought in from other countries, so really making other countries' economy better as opposed to that of the United States. So Obamacare was a huge part of it. He said he was going to build upon Obamacare. We were going to bring Obamacare back. Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren have been touting student loan forgiveness for the long time. Some forgiveness, forgive student loans, fix the rich, stuff like this. Have they really gone ahead to do it? They really gone ahead to forgive student loans, as you say? Because one thing about economy is that you cannot invest money. You cannot just invent money, you cannot just invent value with repercussions. Where are you going to get money from to pay the students loans? By taking loans from, the IMF, or by taking loans. So you're just going to shift the loans from, the educational sector to the government, which already owes trillions and trillions of dollars, by the way. So I don't see how that is for the economy. And even that he did do. He only said he was going to pay $10,000 for graduates that earn below $120,000, and so many different parameters that sounds so much that just sounds so much like, over explaining a situation, over explaining a statement that is, we were not able to give student loans like we said we were when we're running for office. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Trump's campaign promises and how well he was able to deliver on his campaign promises. So stay tuned and go anywhere. See you in the next